Hey folks! Today we're making wheat berry scones. We're going to make them from scratch with freshly ground wheat berries. And freshly ground wheat berries are much more nutritious than shelf-stable flour. They have 42 nutrients compared to the 3 nutrients in shelf-stable flour. So if you want a highly nutritious, very filling snack, treat, or meal, because I treat them like a meal, then watch me make them. They're very easy and they're very delicious. Okay, so here we are. We're going to start with the wheat berries, but first I'm going to tell you about the coffee grinder that I use. It's a large capacity coffee grinder. It's very inexpensive. I think I paid something like $20 for it quite a while ago, so it's probably a little more expensive than that. But I've had this forever. I've used it almost every day for a lot of different things for years and years. So this is a great investment. It'll grind up your wheat berries. It'll grind up cinnamon. It's made to be a spice grinder and a coffee grinder. So anything you want to grind up that you don't want to pull the big old food processor out, this is great because it does it in small quantities. So we're going to grind up the wheat berries. We need 1 cup of wheat berries. This is half a cup. And I like to spread them out about a 1/4 cup at a time on a paper plate because we're looking for pebbles. Sometimes pebbles get left in during the processing. Yep, they're pretty easy to spot. So I do half a cup at a time. Okay, so you want to grind it up for about a full minute. It's quite a while, and just the way I do it, I don't time myself. I just grind it until I stop hearing the rattling inside the metal. Okay, so we'll do this again, about a 1/4 cup at a time. Oh, there is I think that's a pebble. I have my glasses on so I can't see, but just look for, if you're blind like me, just look for discoloration. There's something that's not the right color. Okay. This only takes a minute. I'm doing it kind of slow for your benefit. So I just kind of make sure they're spread out, don't miss anything. All right. Grind it again. Okay. Yep. Nice and fine flour there. Okay. So that was 1 cup of wheat berries. Set that aside. And oats. Steel cut oats would be better, but I have a ton of rolled oats because I stored them all up. I'm eating my stored food for the winter. So I'm eating what I have. So this is a 1/4 cup rolled oats, but if you want the most nutrition, get the steel cut oats. It's like the wheat berry version of what wheat berries are to flour. Steel cut oats are to oats. That makes a beautiful flour. It doesn't always get all the little parts, but that's okay. Just adds a little
texture in the biscuit. Oh, actually, I need that cup. Okay, now the quinoa. I'm almost out of quinoa. This is literally my last little bit. Okay. Make one more batch maybe with that. I do have a non-quinoa version that I'm going to try, but the quinoa gives it a nice flavor, and it also adds a complete protein. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, see how that just pulverizes everything into a nice flour? Love this little thing. Does wonders for coffee beans too. Okay, now we're gonna add our baking powder. It's 1 tablespoon baking powder. I always use non-aluminum baking powder. Every ingredient in this is linked in the description below. I carefully research every ingredient I put in my food, so you don't want aluminum in your baking powder. The next one is cornstarch. All right, so I've got some cornstarch here. Cornstarch sticks to itself, so. And then 1/2 tablespoon. Okay, I'm making a big mess on my counter. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then 1 teaspoon of sugar. This is monk fruit. The recipe calls for sugar. You can put sugar in if you want. It's only 1 teaspoon across like 9 biscuits. But I'm just going to use monk fruit. Okay, so now we stir everything up. Make sure it all blends well. Now for the olive oil part. Okay, so I have my olive oil here. I put this, I measure it out beforehand and then put it in the cold so that it's really cold. It doesn't have to be hard. I think if it's hard, it's better. I don't have a refrigerator, so during the winter, I just put everything outside when I want it to be cold, and it's just not that cold right now. So we our weather is fluctuating. It's going from freezing cold, it will snow one day, and then it'll be like this another day. So I think we might be nearing the end of winter. So I'm just gonna pour it in. And so anyway, if it's like this, it's fine. Let's just, got it all over my hands. Gross. Okay, I've never had to deal with it this soft before. But it is okay if it's this soft. So if you just want to chill it for like an hour and you're in a big hurry, then that's fine. Okay, you're going to want a pastry cutter or use a fork, which is fine. This works really well. I'm going to link this in the description as well. Just want to cut it in until the whole thing is wet. I like to tip the bowl and sort of get it mixed up in there. See, it's coming together. I'm showing this whole seam because I want you to see, if you've never done this before, I want you to see what it takes. If you don't have a handle on your bowl, that's fine, just grab the edge. This bowl just makes it easy. Okay. There we go. We can see a few flakes of oats in there. That's fine. So that's about good right there. Now we add half a cup of flour. So this is a 1/4 cup. 1, 2, that makes half a cup. And then 1 tablespoon of water. And then stir it in. See, it's not quite like regular dough. That's why it took me a while to come up with this recipe. It's kind of hard to get everything balanced, but I did it, and it's pretty good. It is not a big fluffy biscuit. I just couldn't get it exactly like what a shelf-stable flour does, but it's still very good and it fills you up, which is the goal here. Now I'm going to use my Silpat here, and then I just put it on there. And you want to just kind of pat it down. Don't take too long at this step because it's going to start to rise with the baking powder. It's better to use your hands, so I'm just going to, forgive me here. It really is better to use your hands here because it's just sticking to the spoon. And I like to shape it into a square as much as I can. You want it about 3/4 of an inch. There, that's about right. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. And now we're going to cut it into 9 pieces. Let's see. It's not those are a little uneven. That's all right. Okay. So, all right, now this is where my world and your world are going to change. You just put this right on a cookie, like a cookie sheet would be easiest, or a baking dish, and put it in the oven for 425 for about 12 to 15 minutes until the centers are firm. I cook on my wood stove, so I do things differently, and you can watch me do that right now. So I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so I put mine in my cast iron pot, and see, they're starting to get puffy, so that's what we want. I like the Silpat because I can just lift it up. Actually, do I just want to put the whole thing in? I'm gonna I'm gonna cook it this way today. Let's experiment right on camera. I think that'll be fine because I don't want to take those off. They're kind of stuck to it and it'll ruin the shape. So let's do it like that. See what happens. Okay, so I'm putting it on my wood stove. I have it going as hot as I can get it. That's my 425. And then I'll just leave it here for half an hour. For me, that's what it takes. But for you, 12 to 15 minutes in a 425 oven. All right, and then we'll be back when they're done. And basically, for me, they're done when I can smell them. Yum. Okay, so I am smelling them. They smell delicious. Let's check. Oh yes, those look done. Yep, they're nice and firm in the center. That's all they need to be. Their color doesn't change a whole lot. They turn a little bit brown, but it's not like regular biscuits. Okay, so I have to, it's not that hot. Okay, they're gonna go right here. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna let this cool for a minute. Let's see. Actually, yum.
Let's try it. Mmm. So good.